So, let me put this down. Stoker now has sprinkles out that you can purchase. So this is very exciting because before, if you guys remember my old keto birthday cupcake recipe, I used real sprinkles because we didn't have the option for sprinkles at the time. Now, some people were making them at home using coconut and stuff, but come on, like coconut. And then they were dyeing it itself and it was just so much work. Like, who? I don't want to have to do all that. So Stoker, they, you know, the ones that make the bars, that if you remember me trying them back when I came back from KetoCon, they went and they made sprinkles and they sell them right on Amazon. I'll put a link below for you guys. The ingredients are erythritol, soluble corn fiber, palm kernel oil, and natural colors. The ingredients are pretty simple. Now, when it comes, I'm going to do a keto birthday cake recipe with this, and I'll link the actual cake below for you guys as well. But the thing is, I can't do a glucose testing because I have other things involved in it. So who's to say that, you know, almond flour or coconut flour may not spike me, you know? So that really wouldn't be fair to Stoker. But I will say with Stoker, I do love their bars. I think their bars are delicious. I think their marshmallow is mind-blowing, but I do not know what these sprinkles are gonna be like, but we will see. So let's make our cake. Now, the last cake came out very, very well. If you saw it when I had my mother and my brother test it out, they loved it.
This is really good.
Dry ingredients: 1.5 cup of almond flour, 3 tablespoons of coconut flour, 1/4 cup of sweetener. Now, I don't use a lot of sweetener. I use just enough to help with my bulking, but there's no reason to use a whole bunch of sweetener because a whole bunch of it is useless. There comes to a certain point where you just add it in there and you're just getting the aftertaste of it. So that's why I stack my sweeteners. But I'll move on. As I said, 1/4 cup of granulated sweetener. I do use this one from High Key now, and I use the allulose one that they have as well. It's a little sweeter than what you traditionally get out of erythritol. Plus, I do save with them. I just use my code Sugarless Crystals, and you get 10% off with that. And I'll put that below as well. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and you're gonna mix all that together. Now, for your wet ingredients, you're gonna have 3 eggs, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, a 1/2 teaspoon of butter extract. And this is what differences. This was what makes it a bit different. Now, if you've been following my blog, I recently just made a southern butter pound cake. Delicious. And I brought in the butter extract because Sara Lee tends to use butter extract in theirs. So I used butter extract in this. Last time I used the 101 flavors. And there was an ingredient that people just didn't like, but at the end of the day, when you're dealing with keto, extracts are your best friend because things just don't have the natural flavor. Flour tends to be very bland. Almond flour and coconut flour aren't bland at all, they actually pack flavor. So those flavors fight with other flavors. You don't have that issue when you're dealing with flour. So extracts help bring those natural flavors out. Are they artificial? Yeah, but a lot of stuff in the grocery store is. Look at the package, you see a lot of natural additives and so on and so forth. A 1/2 teaspoon of stevia. Liquid stevia or liquid monk fruit works just fine. But what that does is it helps with your top level sweetness, and that 1/4 cup of sweetener isn't gonna do much. And just doing stevia by itself, you're definitely gonna come up with an aftertaste. But when you mix the two, they actually work together very, very well. If you pay attention to some of the best desserts, including my own, you will notice that trend amongst them. They'll have more than 1 sweetener. And 2 to 3 tablespoons of Stoker sprinkles. Now, I say use 3, I go with 3, but you know, if you just, if 2's enough, then it's fine. Using a 9-inch baking pan, just simply pour it in there, spread it out, pat it down, whatever you gotta do, and stick it in the oven for about 25 degrees, Stick it in the oven for about 25 minutes. As far as the frosting goes, now you can use my cream cheese frosting, which you'll see in the photos, but what I tend to like when it comes to cakes is something very light. Or you can have like a light whipped cream frosting, which is simply a 1/2 cup of whipped cream and 2 tablespoons of powdered sweetener. I would not use liquid sweetener in something like this because liquid sweetener like stevia or monk fruit is not very aftertasty. But stevia is very heavy on the aftertaste because it's so thin and it doesn't have anything to fight with it. That aftertaste is going to come through very, very strongly. And for somebody that's new, it's going to be very undesirable. Well, now that it's out the oven, let's test it, see what happens. So the keto birthday cake is out of the oven and time for a taste test. Something I noticed is with these, most of them kind of melted into the cake. Now, traditionally sprinkles do that as well, but these the only color that stands out is the orange one. The other ones just kind of disappeared. Now, other than the photos, I do have an icing for this. In the photos, you see the cream cheese icing, which you can use. But for this cake, I whipped up heavy whipping cream icing, so it's something very light, and I add sweetener and vanilla to it. So I'm gonna spread over the cake, and then I'm gonna top it off with a couple sprinkles so I can actually see if I can taste it. Oh, put a little sprinkle here. Pinky up. So, they don't taste like anything. Like, I taste the cake and I taste the icing, but the sprinkles, they're just crunchy. And those are the ones on top. Of course, the ones on the inside have disappeared. To be honest, I would just go with regular sprinkles. Because, you know, the sprinkles, they bring sort of like a novelty to the dish, you know? I mean, if you're dealing with regular sprinkles, like the glitter and stuff like that, I think that's just to make it pretty. But the regular sprinkles, they have actual flavor to it. And these, you know, there's what, 3 or 4 ingredients in it? So the natural colors, I'm guessing, is food dye. I don't know what natural colors are. So you have dye and then you have 3 other ingredients with it. At least with the other ones, I mean, it's just sugar. Like, you know what I'm saying? On my keto birthday cupcake video, I mean, it added what, maybe like a 0.5, if that much, extra gram per serving. Like, it's just, I really think it's worth it. And I mean, even now, some keto products still have sugar. And I mean, it's very minimum sugar for the amount of, unless you just throw a whole bunch of sprinkles on top of it, which you don't need that just for the flavor. But it really brings a certain novelty to birthday cake flavored things. And Stoker has amazing bars, and their marshmallow is mind blowing. But the sprinkles, I just, whew, I don't know if I can stand by it. I really don't. I like the company. I mean, if you're like super strict keto and you just don't want to do the sugar, regardless of how much it may bring, I understand. And this would definitely be a choice, because when I first did my keto birthday cupcakes, I didn't have this option, and now I do, you know, and I exercised it. But in the end, it just became one of those things where the original was just better. There are things that, you know, you just can't bring over, and I swear you get an A for effort. I swear you do. That's all I got. Stoker. Well, see what that was like. At the end of it, at the end of the day, you know, I'm very, very grateful to have these types of products, as I said before. You know, and I'll put the link down below for you guys. You can test them out. Who knows? Like I said, you know, it's great to have the option. I'll say that much. I don't think it's better than actually using real sprinkles, but it's great to have that option. I'll say that. But if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. I am Darius. This is Sugarless Crystals, your sugar-free destination of YouTube. I hope you enjoyed me. I was guilt-free. Indulge.